Hello and welcome back to Sheaff Math. In today's lesson, we're going to learn how to derive the quadratic formula. So, what about this great mystery formula? Well, if we started with the generic form of the quadratic equation, ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, and we said to ourselves, if I could solve for x, then if I knew what a, b, and c were, I could solve any quadratic equation. And so what we're going to do is we're going to solve for x. So here we go. What we're going to do first is we're going to divide a by everything. And that cancels out that a here. And what we're doing here is we're going to have to use completing the square in order to solve for x. So there's a lot of letters in here, and you're just going to have to bear with me here and trust that I'm doing everything right, but I will try to explain everything that I do. What we're going to do here is we're going to take this, what we have left on this side, and we're going to get rid of the plus c over a. We're going to subtract c over a on both sides. That will cancel this, and we'll get negative c over a on the right side, and we'll be left with x squared plus b over a x. And so we're going to try to find the c here, or the number that would go in this, or the term that would go here that would complete the square on this side. And so what we do is we take the b, or the number in front of the x here, and we're going to cut it in half and then square it, okay? So we take b over a and we cut it in half, or multiply it by 1/2, and we get b over 2a, and then what we do is we square it. So b over 2a is half of b over a. And what we've just done here is we have made this a perfect square. And so we have to also remember that if we add something on one side, we have to add it to the other to keep the equation true. So on the left side here, we have created this square with all these letters in here. And what we've done is we have created x plus b over 2a quantity squared. This is now a perfect square. And what I did here is I simplified the b over 2a squared to b squared over 4a squared. And I switched them around just to kind of clean things up a little bit. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the right side and I'm going to clean it up even further. And so on the side here, I'm going to add these two fractions. So I need the same denominator, so I'll multiply it by 4a over 4a, so I get 4a squared at the bottom. Now I can actually add or combine the top, and so I get b squared minus 4ac over 4a squared. And so what I'll do is I'll take this and replace this with it. And so here we have the same thing on the left, except the right side has been cleaned up a little bit, and the fractions have been combined. Now, on the next slide, I'm going to take this whole thing here and put it and start with it. So here we go. All right, so here's what we had on the last slide. And so what do we do to, after we've completed the square, we're going to have to get x plus b over 2a by itself. So we need to undo that square. What do? We square root both sides, taking the positive and negative of the right side. And so by square rooting this, we're left with x plus b over 2a. And then what I did here is, since we don't like to have a radical at the bottom, I square rooted the bottom, and it happened to be a perfect square. It came out to 2a. 4a squared square rooted is 2a. So now what we need to do, look at that, we have that x all by itself. All we have to do is get rid of this plus b over 2a. So I'm going to put this on the next slide. And what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the plus b over 2a. So I'll subtract that on both sides, canceling that out, and I'm left with x by itself equals this whole stuff. Now, I rearranged the negative b over 2a on the left-hand side. And if you notice, these two fractions have the same denominator, so I can actually combine them together And this is what I get when I combine them together. I get x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Yep, if you recognize that, you are right. This is the quadratic formula, the magic formula. All you need to do is find the a, b, and c of any quadratic equation, substitute them into the a, b, and c here, and you will find the solutions to that. It is a miracle formula. It really is amazing. It's not too hard to derive it, to figure it out. It's just simple algebra skills. But that's how we got the quadratic formula. I hope this helped. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.